Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's episode of Roundabout Sports presented by Harsh Construction, LLC, proud sponsor of Interstate 70 Sports Media. Be sure to call 618-363-9818. That is 618-363-9818. Harsh Construction, LLC, your solutions for all your harsh problems. And, of course, by Crispy Clean Lawn Care, Brush and Junk Removal. Be sure to call at 618-593-2997. That is 618-593-2997. Crispy Clean Lawn Care, Brush and Junk Removal. And, of course, by Interstate 70 Sports Media, where our passion is our profession. I'm the Maestro, Jeremy Carp. Adam Frecks will be joining us in approximately 5 minutes. And it is episode 173, the 2026 NFL Draft Preview episode. Thank you all so much for tuning in, whether it be on our official YouTube channel, on Facebook, on X, any of our socials, wherever you may be listening. Also, I must let it be known that Roundabout Sports can be found on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, and all other streaming platforms. Just rolls right off the tongue. Man, oh man. Well, I hope everybody is having a wonderful, beautiful Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. It is definitely NFL Draft Eve, as tomorrow night the NFL Draft will kick off in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And there is a lot that Adam and I are going to be talking about, but as far as the draft is concerned. But until then, there is a couple other pieces of news that I want to report on. And first, we have, in one of the most significant trades in the history of the St. Louis Battlehawks in the UFL, the team has acquired Dallas Renegades quarterback Luis Perez. And the move involves offensive tackle Corey Stewart, who's playing in his first season in the league and has played all 4 games so far with the Battlehawks. Now, Perez is considered the Spring King because he's been a part of multiple playoff teams throughout the years in the league, including the Dallas Renegades championship victory in 2023. Battlehawks head coach Ricky Prohl said on Wednesday about the trade, "With our current injury situation, it was important to add depth at the position. We're fortunate to add a veteran with Luis's experience to our room. Harrison Frost will remain the starter, and we appreciate Corey's contributions and wish him the best as he steps into an opportunity to start in Dallas." Now, the move was needed because the Battlehawks other quarterback, Michael Pratt, suffered a rib injury, which put him on injured reserve, and to add consistency to a very inconsistent quarterback room. So that is the latest news out of St. Louis Battlehawks camp. And with that, I bring up aboard my amazing co-host and dear friend, Adam Frecks, as how we feeling, Adam?
Pretty good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Oh, my gosh. Happy NFL Draft Eve.
I know, man. It feels like it came up on us quick this year.
It really did. I can't believe we're already almost in May.
Yeah.
I know some other people definitely like it's crazy to them that the off season, like we're already now at the draft. Like it's exciting though. I'm very excited for it.
You almost get a round 2 free agency too. Like just kind of just kind of teams kind of trickle out their teams, and then the free agents that are left out there to kind of fill in the rest of the roster spots.
Well, and you're talking about the offseason, the free agency, and filling out roster spots. Well, this week, and I'm still at a loss for words about it, the New York Giants and Cincinnati Bengals made a blockbuster deal that honestly I think is going to work in the Giants' favor a lot more than it will the Bengals. Now, a little backstory, folks. The Bengals traded the number 10 overall pick to the New York Giants for defensive lineman Dexter Lawrence. Now, the Giants now own 8 picks total heading into the draft. And on top of that, they have 2 first-round picks. They have the 5th overall and now the 10th. And they have a 2nd, a 4th, 5th, and 3 6s. So take me through your initial thoughts, Adam, through the Dexter Lawrence deal.
So initially with the Bengals, it goes like, okay, you can only make a trade for that one. Because you're kind of going for it this year. You know what I mean? Just as far as like, you're definitely pushing for playoff position. And then secondly, it tells you that maybe they're not as big of a fan of this draft. Definitely the first round. For them to pop out of the first round, maybe they're not seeing the talent that they can get out of it to a superstar. I want to say superstar, but a top tier defensive tackle like Dexter Lawrence. So for them to give up that pick to bring in a high quality player, man, it's really interesting on both sides if you're being honest. So, and I get it on the Giants side of wanting to restock the cabinet, but man, that's a tough loss on their defense to lose a guy like Dexter Lawrence. It's more wild that it was with Cincinnati than anything, I think.
Here's my biggest question, and when it comes to this trade, you're the Bengals. You want to obviously get a star defensive lineman, and to do that, it costs you your 10th overall pick. If I'm the Bengals, why wouldn't I have just kept Trey Hendrickson this whole time and kept the 10th overall pick? Instead, now you have Dexter Lawrence. Yes, it's a great addition, but you don't have that pick. Now, the Giants obviously are in heaven right now because just think about it like this. The Giants can still go get a pass rusher if they want, on top of already having Kayvon Thibodeau and Abdul Carter.
Right. Well, and they still have Burns too, I believe,
and Brian
so
Burns.
They have a
formidable
right. defense. They got good edge rushers with Thibodeau, I believe.
Yeah, that you are so right on. Yeah, that
so it's one of those things where like where the Giants they kind of had the availability to even if they get a defensive tackle that's not as good as Dexter Lawrence this year, they can be just as formidable on defense, because I think Burns is a superstar type of player. I don't think his name is as sexy and out there as far as like mainstream media, but I think he's a top tier linebacker. And Thibodeau's seems to get better. So, and then you have a guy like John Harbaugh as the coach. So it's really an interesting thing with the Bengals that it's like, does that, a Dexter Lawrence move for me? It's like, all right, guys, we're almost there. Let's get something to put us over to the top. But I don't think the Bengals roster is there to add a Dexter Lawrence to put them over the top, or, even make them the favorites in the North.
Yeah, and especially in the crowded AFC North that still has Trey Hendrickson, in this case, on the Baltimore Ravens. So all signs, with the NFL draft, all signs, we've had thousands of mock drafts out there. See who do people think will go where, what's a potential steal, a sleeper, any trades that could be made. So honestly, I mean, the best way to look at this, not every team has a first round pick. And obviously we've established that. The Rams, the Bengals, obviously, and the Jaguars do not have first round picks. Seattle has a first round pick, the defending Super Bowl champs, but they have only 4 total picks the entire draft. What do you make of that? Do you think Seattle will trade down in order to stockpile more picks?
Yeah, I think that they, by the end of it, they have more than 4 picks, but this isn't also, excuse me, this isn't also that uncommon, man. If you remember with the Rams, whenever they won the Super Bowl, they kind of offloaded their picks too, and they were kind of going into it the following years after they won the Super Bowl, having to recoup, having to do some trades. So I think it's almost like they took that Rams route as far as like draft strategy and how to use it as capital to gain other players. And in return, they'll be like, all right, well, we'll figure it out later on down the road. So yeah, it's one of those things. I don't think I think they end up with more than 4 picks. They end up trading down. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things. It's interesting, especially like to have only 4 picks in the draft when having to fill out a roster of really 90 whenever you're starting training camp. That's kind of tough to come out of with that few of ammunition of players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think the best way to go about this for our prediction is for our own little special mock, see how well we match up with each other. Kind of go down the list for the top 32 for the first round. Give our thoughts with who we think is going. And I'll kind of go by which team has that pick. And, you know, it's interesting to see who we got here. So we'll start off, if you give me 1 second so I can actually pull up the full thing. I know, obviously, the Las Vegas Raiders do start us off at number 1. And at this point, I'm going to say Fernando Mendoza is going to be the favorite in this, going to the Raiders.
I think he's consensus number 1.
Raiders got some good guys in the offseason. They have a really good running back in Ashton Genty and a elite tight end in Brock Bowers. Now it's time to get your quarterback, and you need one. So yeah, I think
it's a great grouping with adding Kirk Cousins, kind of just personality wise. I mean, just kind of what I've seen through the media, Mendoza and Kirk Cousins, it's kind of they, somewhat on the same wavelength personality is what it appears like to me.
Oh yeah, and Kirk Cousins definitely is a very charismatic guy when it comes to having his character off the field as well, and just his attitude and his mannerisms.
Right.
So next up, we got the New York Jets. The Jets have about 15 different holes they need to fill, and not enough space, time, and picks to fill them. But if I had to go with a spot for them, I'm probably going with David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, because let's face it, this defense is abysmal. And getting help up front is the way to go. Now, there are a few other people that I've heard could be rumored to go to the Jets. Some have even said Carson Beck possibly. I don't see them going quarterback that high, but I definitely see them going edge rusher too.
Yeah, I don't see Beck getting drafted. Yeah, I don't see Beck getting drafted that high. I don't even see Beck going in the first round, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think Bailey's the safest choice for them to go based on A, the quality of player, and B, the lack of talent that is through the New York Jets lineup and roster. So it's just they have to hit. So if they do go with Bailey, he has to be a home run.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. They really need to nail this one. This is where Next up at number 3, I've seen rumors of the Chiefs trading up. I'm going to say that they don't, at least not to number 3. The Arizona Cardinals are going to, in my opinion, stay pat at 3. And they're going to go with Arvell Reese, the edge rusher from Ohio State. And he is who most people think is going number 2 to the Jets. But, I mean, I do feel like that I'm going to say this. I'll go this far. If the Chiefs go up, they still might draft Reese. Reese is going at number 3 or number 2, in my personal opinion here. I would be surprised if he doesn't make it past pick number 3.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's either 2 or 3. It's going to be Bailey or Reese. Like how that swaps out, I'm not sure. I mean, I think Bailey's going to go ahead of Reese, but I definitely think that both, it's going to be those at 2 and 3.
Oh yeah. Who do you see? I'm going to let you kick us off on this one. Who do you see going to the Tennessee Titans at number 4?
Man, this is where I think, I don't know, man. So this is with the Titans, it's interesting, right? They got that young quarterback. They're going into a new stadium, so I feel, or next year they're going into a new stadium. I almost feel like they want to kind of do that sexy pick. They want to do that sexy pick to where it kind of gets some bolster from the fans. That part of me feels that way. Then the other part of me is, I think they might go Francis Maioga, I believe his name. I'm butchering his last name, the offensive tackle out of Miami. I could see them kind of going that route, which I don't necessarily hate. If you can get a young, talented offensive tackle, man, it's the Tennessee is also a team that needs a lot. Like what could you say is the bright spot on Tennessee?
Tennessee to me needs offensive help, and I think Cam Ward is. I actually think Cam Ward's fine. I mean, you cannot give up on Cam Ward yet. If anything, you watch some of his highlights, he was actually pretty fun to watch. Now, the wide receiver room to me is atrocious. I think the running back room is a mess. So I am going to. This is tough because, all right, I'm going to go very bold here. I am actually going to go Jeremiah Love and the running back from Notre Dame. Now, people who are tuning in will find this interesting because for the past month, up until Kenneth Walker joined the Chiefs, I was dead set on Jeremiah Love going to the Chiefs. That was locked in as my pick. Obviously, they traded for Walker, or they signed Walker, and now they had no need for Love. So I think Tony Pollard is not the answer in Tennessee at running back. Get yourself a bona fide starting running back. Spears is also a great complementary running back. But get yourself that solidified, bona fide starter, and then use what picks you have the rest of the way, because they have quite a few, and get some good other offensive weapons. So that's how I look at it.
So that's kind of where, when I was saying with the sexy pick and getting the fans, that's why I think the Love thing makes sense. Why I picked the tackle was because I think you need to protect Cam Ward at all cost, and I think Pollard can be a stepping stone until hopefully they can find that next guy. Picking a running back at 4, he better damn near be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Number 5. Well, we're back to our favorite G-men. The Giants can go in a lot of different directions, but they're not exactly in trouble wherever they go. I'm going to, you want to talk about making a sexy pick? Okay, this offense is going to be fun. I say we make it one more step of funness. I'm saying at number 5, they're going Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. That is who
I'm gonna have.
I really thought about this. I really did. I thought Caleb Downs. I thought Sonny Styles, the linebacker, and then I thought Jordan Tyson. And I said to myself, I mean, Jordan, the team, if you look back at who did the most research, the most visit, the most scouting hours on Jordan Tyson, it was the Giants. And so I think if they prioritize, especially with Malik Neighbors coming back from his ACL tear, I think this is the perfect time to where, hey, let's give it a chance. Now you're going to have Scat at running back, Theo Johnson at tight end, Malik Neighbors, Jordan Tyson, and Jackson Dart throwing. Come on now. And possibly Odell, veteran leadership coming back. Come on.
I 100% agree with you, dude. I think that's where they're going with this pick, and this all things that kind of just media reports. It kind of seems like that's the route that they're going, as you said, with them doing as much extensive scouting that they've done and kind of interviews and things of that nature. So I definitely think that Tyson will be a Giant, and I think it's a great pick for them. I just keep bolstering up that offense. Bring. Not that Dart doesn't have all the confidence in the world, but keep kind of feeding into him. Ensure that he's going to be that number one guy for years to come. Give him those weapons.
Oh, absolutely. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns. My good old Cleveland Browns at number 6. This is their original pick. They have one then later on in the first round we'll get to, but this is as simple as it can get from me, in my opinion. Carnell Tate from Ohio State. Like, it is the most opportunistic chance for them because, look, offensively, the wide receivers dropped the ball last year. And I figuratively, literally, metaphorically, however you want to put it, they were atrocious. And you look at the wide receiver room, it's Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Isaiah Bond, Jamari Thrash. I mean, come on. You need to get a star wide receiver in this draft. And coming out of college, Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson are 1A and 1B. The Giants go 1A, you have to go 1B. I say get Tate, get your guy with the sure hands. Give Shedeur, that confidence boost to his wide receiver core. So that's as simple as I can put it.
I agree. I think they need to keep. Yeah, they need targets for either Watson or Shedeur, whoever they decide. They need more firepower. I know for my draft order, Love is still out there, but I don't think that's what they need to go with. Yeah, I think they need to go wide receiver, and I got them taking Carnell Tate as well.
Okay. Number 7, we got the Washington Commanders, new unis, eventually a new stadium. I am going with somebody a lot of people think are going to the Giants. I'm going Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State. I think just an absolutely explosive player off the line of scrimmage. He can be rotated in and out. And a lot of people do feel that if he's still on the board at 7, Washington will take him. There are, rumblings of wide receivers that Washington's done research on. But look, if the two top receivers just went off the board, the 2 picks beforehand, you're probably going to go defense. And that's where I think Sonny Styles goes to Washington.
I agree with you. That seems like a Dan Quinn fit. And it's kind of the same thing with kind of Washington. If they need help, it's probably a little bit more on the defensive side. I know that Jalen Daniels still needs. I think he needs a couple more weapons still, but I think they want to be a defensive minded team really with a strong quarterback. So I agree with you, Sonny Styles there.
Okay, well, next up at number 8 is the New Orleans Saints. And the New Orleans Saints at number 8, I am going, okay. So, this is an interesting one. All right. This is a very wide receiver heavy draft, which balances out the weak quarterback class. I see New Orleans going wide receiver here. I know some people may feel to reach, and I understand if they feel. I think they go Mekhi Lemon from USC. I just look at it and I feel like a good wide receiver 2 to Chris Olave. And you also take a look at, just the fact that they're really having an identity crisis offensively right now. I think this is the type of move they would need in order to fix that situation, especially that a lot of top offensive weapons are already off the board. He might be one of the best ones you still would have at this point.
This is where I got Love falling to, brother. I think Love falls down to the Saints. So I think that's kind of where it's at. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a great spot for Love. I don't really like the Saints where they're at as far as especially their quarterback situation. That may be another thing. Do they take a chance on maybe saying fuck it, saying screw it, let's get a quarterback? But I think they go with the sexy pick and pick up Love.
Oh, here is my thing. We want to talk about that Jeremiah Love would be an interesting fit in there. So I really don't think that's actually that bad of a prediction right there. Now we come to number 9. Okay. Chiefs fans should be pumped if Brett Veach goes defense here. Now, I thought there's 2 ways to go about this. You either go with what you know you need or what you don't need, but you can make even better. So here, I really thought about it. And I thought long and hard at number 9, going to the Chiefs. Lord help me, because my friends that are Chiefs fans are going to go crazy about it. I got Caleb Downs going to the Chiefs.
You know what, dude? That's not that. So I'm stuck in between 3 players, and Downs is one of them. Ruben Bain is one that has been.
That was my other
one that's been consistently talked about. But I think one that's kind of underrated is a guy that's already off of yours is Mekhi Lemon. I don't think you can take wide receiver out of the play. You have Rashee Rice coming into his last year, and who knows what type of player that you're going to get out of Rice, or if you're willing to even resign him after this year. So Now, I say all that to say this, that I still think that it's going to be Ruben Bain Jr. So it wouldn't surprise me if they end up going wide receiver. Downs is a safety that I really like, but for me, pass rusher, quarterback, offensive tackle. If you can get premier players in those positions, and I think Ruben Bain is one of those players, and I think that's where Veach ends up going.
Okay. Number 10 now with the Giants. I'm going to reverse the course here because, I'm going to say this. If the Chiefs get Caleb Downs, the Giants get Ruben Bain. If the Chiefs get Ruben Bain, Giants get Caleb Downs, vice versa. But since I already have the Chiefs getting Downs, I have the Giants going Ruben Bain and bolstering what is already looking to be a dangerous defensive front and edge group. And really putting the NFC East on notice. So yeah, I think Downs is more likely to slip, which is common for the safeties in the first round, but we'll see what happens.
Man, so I'm going to split here on kind of how they decide to approach this situation. So I could honestly see them taking Downs early as 5, but I see them kind of split in 5 and 10 between offense and defense. So I'm definitely going to take Downs here at 10, but I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll take Downs here at 10, but a part of me wants to think that they may go Downs at 5 and take Spencer Fano at 10 to kind of get some offensive line help. But in this draft, I'll take Downs at 10.
And it's funny you mentioned Spencer Fano because that's exactly where I'm going at number 11 with the Miami Dolphins, because if there's anything that the Miami Dolphins have not had enough of, that they need more of and solid of, it's offensive linemen. And what better way than Spencer Fano? And apparently, here's the thing. Going with tackle is usually the solid way to go. I know questions about the wide receivers and offensive weapons on this Miami team have come up. You have to go. If I'm Miami, I'm not leaving that pick. I'm not leaving the first round without one offensive lineman. You have to go O-line here. And Fano, I think, is strong and agile enough to where he can really hold down the blind side.
I just don't know what Miami really does, dude. What is Miami's like? I mean, they're coming in with a new coach and everything. I just don't know what the direction that they're looking to go with. It's kind of the safe pick with Fano. I was about to say, because like if you don't have a top tier quarterback, at least you can do is bolster up that offensive line and make that quarterback look better. But shit, now they're going to need defensive help too after getting rid of Chubb and just kind of all the players that they kind of offloaded on. It's just, I don't know. Miami's in potential to have the number 1 pick next year. So I think I'll agree with you. I think they do go with Fano, and I probably think it's probably the best decision that they can make to not get their quarterback killed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think next up at number 12, the Dallas Cowboys, who need so much defensive help, get the best corner in the draft, in my personal opinion, and the second best defensive back behind Downs. They go Mansour Delaney, the corner out of LSU.
I got the same. I mean, they need a lot of help on that back end. If Downs ain't there, I think it's something that they need to do is, go corner. I don't really see them going offense.
Doesn't matter. You can't score. It doesn't matter if you score 30 if the other team scores 35.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm with you there, Mansour Delaney on or Delane, however you pronounce it. Going number 12 to Dallas.
Next up at Lucky 13, we got the LA Rams, and this is their pick that they got from the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going offensive tackle here. There is a lot of directions the Rams could go. They could go wide receiver. They could go defense. They could even go quarterback. What the hell? But I'm going to tell you right now, I see them going offensive line, offensive tackle more specifically. Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle out of Georgia. In all season, he gave up just 2 sacks and did a great job just pushing back edge rushers. This is probably Stafford's final season, so you need to give him all the protection you can get. And losing Rob Havenstein to retirement this offseason also does not help the situation. So that's what I got.
I'm gonna go actually. I think they're gonna go edge rusher. I think they take Akeem Messador out of Miami.
Okay.
They're getting a little long in the tooth defensively. I was thinking offensive tackle here as well. I was also thinking maybe Mekhi Lemon, but I think that they have a couple defensive players that are going to be up for contracts in the next couple of years. And with how crazy the edge market is, I think they try to get in front of it and take Massador.
I got at 14, I got the Baltimore Ravens going tight end because they lost Isaiah Likely. Mark Andrews is struggling. And they love tight ends in Baltimore. So what better way to celebrate that than go Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. He ran the fastest 40 ever for a tight end in the combine. And it was 4.39 seconds. And he was arguably the wide receiver, or he was arguably the de facto wide receiver one for Oregon last year too. So I think it's just a bona fide smart pick for them.
That's good, dude. A 4.39 for a tight end's absolutely diabolical. I got Mekhi Lemon dropping to them. So. Okay. But yeah, no, a tight end at that rate, man. After you said that, it has me re-guessing kind of my thought process. Yeah, it's just the 4.39 and just kind of hearing that out loud as the tight end. But I'm gonna stick with Mekhi Lemon.
Okay, that's fine. Now Tampa Bay, I got now this one's gonna be fun for me to try to pronounce his name, but I will say this. He's probably the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. And that is Olaviega Ioane from Penn State. And I really hope I got that right because it looks like I got it right just by reading it. And Tampa Bay, for a 320-pounder, he's also extremely agile. Hasn't given up a sack in 2 years for Penn State. So, yeah, obviously you would think Tampa would go defense because that's what they're famous for. But no, they're going to go line. They're going to go interior line because that's what they need.
Man. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I want to go Sadiq here, man, because I think that would be, with them losing Evans. We're on Tampa, right?
Yeah.
We're on Tampa Bay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, man, I'll have to agree with you. I want to go tight end here with Sadiq, but we'll stick with was it Ione?
Yep.
Was that I'm not sure. Like you said, I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
16 for the Jets. I got this is a good one too. I got Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. Jets, we talked about them needing defensive help, but they also need offensive help. So what better way than to get an offensive guy second way around? So, and Frankie agrees with you that Sadiq would be great for Tampa. But I got Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver from Indiana, going to the Jets at 16.
I agree. It's just kind of what can they do here? They can really go anywhere. And just kind of I got Cooper as well.
You know what? So this is where we start getting a little tougher. I'm going with for the for the Detroit Lions, I'm going offensive tackle, or I'm sorry, not offensive tackle. It was a different pick. Let me double check. Okay, here we go. I had to put sure. For the Lions, I actually have them going corner here. Avion Terrell. The defense is constantly injured, most injured riddled defense in the league the past 3 years. What better way to try to fix that than, get some help on the secondary?
Man, it's tough, dude. Because once you get kind of after this top 15, it kind of can go anywhere between 15 to 24. Is like all these players, not that they're interchangeable, but I can see all these organizations willing to make any of these players that are kind of predicted, in the top 60, the 15 to 24 mark. I can just kind of see them just scrambled everywhere. We'll go with Caden Proctor, offensive tackle for the Detroit Lions.
Okay. Minnesota, I got at 18. Dylan Theinman, the safety from Oregon. Apparently he feels confident he'll go in the top 20. Well, that's pick number 18 right there.
I'm going Sadiq goes to the Vikings. I think they surprised people, and with I really like I like Soda's head coach, and he's an offensive, or in my opinion, he's offensive heavy head coach. So
yeah,
I think that just kind of gives him another weapon to be able to use. So yeah, we're gonna go Sadiq with the Minnesota Vikings at 18.
I got Keldrick Falk going from Auburn, edge rusher, going to the Carolina Panthers. Panthers had a really good offensive year, but I think this time they're really going to surprise people with their defense. And having more help up front is the way to go for them.
Who's that? Who'd you pick? Sorry.
I picked Keldrick Falk.
I'm right there. That's what I thought you said. Yep, I'm right there with you. I agree.
All right. Let's see. We got number 20. This is where I'm going to be honest. These last 12 picks, I do have all over the place. So we don't, and as we are kind of running short on time, I will say, is there any notable pick? We'll wrap up, but before we do, is there any notable player you see dropping out of the first round?
Shit. That's hold on. I'm kind of looking through
because I got a very surprising one for you.
All right. Well, let me hear yours first. I'm looking through my list.
So here we go. My sleeper pick that can fall out of the first round, and I would say he would be a steal if you get him in the second or later. Or like robbery. I would say Casey Concepcion, the wide receiver from Texas A&M.
That's kind of what
it is a cluster of wide receivers between Omar
really
Cooper
is.
Jr., Denzel Boston, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Lemon, like all over. Concepcion might be the one lost in the shuffle. And because of that, I see him falling, and he could honestly fall into the second round, and he could end up going to the Bills, just for that, like as a thought. With now they don't. I mean, you know
what I'm interested in? Who takes Ty Simpson?
Who takes Ty Simpson?
I'm going to take a chance on Ty Simpson.
Let's see. I'm going to tell you right now. You know who I think takes a chance? Who do you think? You go first. I know you asked about it.
And you probably don't want to hear this because
you're going to say Cleveland.
Man, it feels like such a Cleveland thing to do, brother. But if I had to guess, put money on it, I would pick the Cardinals.
I was about to say, if I had to put money, because I like Jacoby Brissett, but after him, you look at these Cardinals quarterbacks, Gardner Minshew and Keaton Slovis. Yeah, you're probably drafting a quarterback at some point or another in this draft if you're Arizona. So,
hold on. I want to give a quick shout out to my brother Frankie. Frankie, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you hopping in on the show tonight, brother. It's been a long time no see.
No, absolutely. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And I'll be honest, I love keeping the show going, like running extended our time. If it weren't for the fact that in literally 2 weeks, my fiance and daughter and I are moving, that we got packing and a lot of things to do on top of getting ready for the draft. So I'm going to make it clear that Adam and I are going to have an NFL draft recap going on when the time comes. But until then, we are going to wrap it up this week here on episode 173 of Roundabout Sports. I want to thank our sponsors, that being, of course, Harsh Construction, LLC. Be sure to call them for a free quote today at 618-363-9818. That's 618-363-9818. Over 50 years combined experience in construction, landscaping, and renovation. They're your solution to your harsh problems. And of course, Crispy Clean Lawn Care, Brush, and Junk Removal. For them, you call 618-593-2997. That's 618-593-2997. And yes, Frankie, thank you so much for tuning in. And we look forward to having you join us at the recap show. Roundabout Sports can be found on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, any and all other streaming platforms. Also on our official YouTube channel and Facebook and everything. Please check out the other amazing shows that are on there. That being the Blues Fan Forum podcast, the STL Hockey Fan podcast, Issues with Wrestling with Christopher Miles and Jared Shannon. And I'm just grateful to have Adam aboard with me every week as we kick ass and rock the house, bring the roof down with us while we do it, because it is a blast. Like I said, we're before you know it, we'll be at episode 200. So it'll be here before you know it, folks, and I am ready for it. But as always, for the NAMI helpline, call 1-800-950-NAMI. That is 1-800-950-NAMI. The National Alliance on Mental Illness is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for those who struggle with mental health issues, as well as their families. And be sure, as always, we put up the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And for that, you dial 988. The line is open 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. Understand you're never alone in this world. There's always somebody out there who loves you, who cares about you, who loves you, who wants nothing but the best for you. We all go through struggles and stress and trials and tribulations on a daily basis. And your feelings are valid and you matter. And you are just a phone call, a text message, an appointment away from what could be that life-saving moment for you. And you could be the listening ears and watchful eyes for somebody in need as well. So I want to thank you all so much for tuning in this week. I want to thank Adam for joining me. Hope you all enjoyed the draft. I know we will. And we'll be sure to recap it later on. But until then, he's Adam Frecks. I'm the Maestro Jeremy Karp. And always remember that life is a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading. Good night, everybody.